ta bussen.
Det låter bra.
Det är lätt som helst.
Det här var någonting nytt. Ja.
Ja, fast jag med.
Jag såg en kvinna som trodde att ingen väntade på henne.
Since we live in an unconscious and egoic world, the reality is nobody cares about anybody else unless they can somehow benefit from it. People may ask how you are, but they don't actually care. It's basically just a habit. They might ask about you and your life, but that's only because they're waiting for the part where you can ask them about themselves so they can tell you all about it. They may say nice things about you, but they're just empty words. At best, they may mean them in the moment, but when you really need their support, they're nowhere to be found. That's because words are cheap, so people don't mind throwing them around. But when it's time to put those words into action, you'll find out that you're actually alone. I've had a few of these experiences in my own life. For example, when the mandates were put into place, I lost my job because I didn't get the you-know-what. And so I couldn't go to restaurants, clubs, or even the hospital. And I saw how indifferent people were to how those who didn't get the you-know-what were treated. And now I'm seeing the same thing with people who did get it and got injured, and when they try to talk about it, nobody cares. And on top of that, they actually get code names like anti-vaxxer and conspiracy theorist. Now, not long after I lost my job because of the you-know-what, the laptop I used to make music and these videos on died. And since people always leave comments on my videos telling me how much they appreciate my work, I thought I would ask them to help me out by buying one of my albums if they didn't want to make a direct donation so I can keep creating. And only one person did. That's when I realized that I was actually alone. In fact, I've always been alone. It's just that people's words were giving me the impression that I wasn't, and this was an illusion. The unfortunate reality is, when you need help, people don't mind sending you thoughts and prayers and saying all kinds of flattering things, but they don't care enough to actually help. The important thing to remember is, nobody actually cares about anybody. Not really. It's just human nature. It can be depressing to realize, but it's also freeing because now you can see through people's meaningless words, and you can see through their compliments and insult. So you can remain indifferent to both because they are both meaningless. Or maybe I've just grown to be cynical. But the truth is, as long as people are identified with their egos, which most are, they will only care about themselves because that's the nature of the ego. Even in intimate relationships, it's always me first and the other second, or vice versa, but it's really the same thing. That's why Osho said, your relationships are not relationships, they are ugly. You are using the other person, and you know perfectly well the other person is using you. And to use anybody is to reduce them into a thing, into a commodity. You don't have any respect for the person. Thank you for watching. I'm sure nobody
cares.
But if there's anyone who gets any value from my videos, please support my work by buying my music or just making a donation. I could really use the support.